What's up, everybody? Psych Out back here, showing a second video for this weekend in partial celebration of the new card that was, well, two new cards were released. I'm only going to be playing with one today. The two new cards that have been released just today. One is called Skeleton Legion, I believe. Skeleton's Legion. As you can see, I only have it up to level 3 here so far, so I won't be playing with that in this one. But the Skeleton's Legion, you get, what is it? I think 3 skeletons. Yes, 3 skeletons in each lane, which is pretty cool. It costs 6 mana. Another card, and the card we will be playing with today, is called Boneyard, and this is an epic card. As you can see, because there was an offer in the store, I've already got it up to level 4, and I've picked up a few others, so we're on our way towards a level 5 Boneyard. The skeletons come out at level 9. It gives you 2 skeletons per card in your hand. So if you have a full hand, that gives you 12, and you play Boneyard. Boneyard is one of the cards in your hand. It gives you 12 skeletons. They are randomly placed in the lanes, which is quite entertaining. And you'll see that this card's really super fun to play. It's really interesting. I'm going to be playing with two different decks in this video. So the first deck I'm going to play is sort of a modified Reaper deck. This deck takes advantage of the Boneyard. It takes advantage of the Skull Queen. We also have the Resurrection in this deck as well, but otherwise it looks an awful lot like the Reaper deck we've been playing in the past. And so let's play a few battles with that, and then we're going to switch to a second deck that is also quite fun, that also takes advantage of this new card, the Boneyard. So let's see here. We've got a little bit of a wait here. They've also announced a new tournament. To my understanding, that a new tournament will be coming up soon, the Reapers tournament. And already with these new cards in play, the Boneyard and the Skeleton's Legion, we're seeing lots of decks use them. And we're also seeing lots of counters to them being run. For example, cards that weren't played as frequently are now showing up a lot more often. Arrows, bombs, fan dancers, anything that can deal with skeletons really effectively. All right, so we're really having a hard time finding an opponent. I don't really know why that is. Anyway, so what else has happened, or what else has changed? So I think the Skeletons Legion has actually made the Skull King a little less valuable. It doesn't mean it's not still a valuable card, just a little less valuable because the Skeleton's Legion only costs 6. Okay, Sir Jonathan, we've played Sir Jonathan before, but the thing is, you never know what anybody has these days because lots of people are trying different decks. Okay, so here we're going to go just like we would with our normal Reaper deck. We're going to play the Storm Elemental. Our opponent has already got Mana Ritual. We're going to go with the Boneyard here. Okay, that's not a great result for our Boneyard. That's okay. We're going to freeze. And, okay, our opponent has Giant Growth. We are going to switch lanes. And we're going to go Protection. And that's not good. Let's get the Reaper out there, hopefully. And let's see what we can get. Okay, let's throw another protection down. That's good. And let's throw down another Boneyard. We should get the win here. Yes, okay, we did. So there we go. So that's kind of how the deck works. It's a lot like a Reaper deck, but you got to see there in that video how the Boneyard works. I think, am I correct here? Yes, this victory also got us to a new high trophy count. So that's pretty exciting. Let's do a couple more battles with this deck before we switch to the other one. Hopefully we don't have to wait too long on all of these. But you saw how the Boneyard worked there. You also saw that I have the Skull Queen in this deck. Didn't have to play it in that one, but the Skull Queen really has gone up in value with the addition of these two new skeleton cards. Okay, so here we have some options. I'm going to go ahead and dump the Wind for now. And I want to play the Boneyard when I have a full hand, which I do right now. So here comes the Boneyard. And there's another card that has gone up in value, is the Specter, or not the Specter, rather the Okay, so our opponent went with, so there we go, arrows, as I said. This is a card that, okay, let's see here. I don't know, maybe I should have played the freeze there. It's very possible. I don't know. Okay, so there's arrows again. As I said, we're seeing lots of opponents playing with arrows. Oh boy. Yeah, all right. So lots of cards that are intended to defend against the rise of the skeletons here, so to speak. Oh man, darn, that was too bad. If I had gotten that out a fraction of a second earlier, we would have saved the day there, but oh well. All right, so we're still okay. Let's go here. We're putting out threats that are going to make it difficult for our opponent to handle, hopefully. We still have, okay, we've got a freeze. We're going to go freeze. And we're going to switch lanes. Oh yes, we got it just in time. And let's see what happens here. We also have the resurrection. If we need it, we're not going to need it. We're going to win right there. Okay, good game. So that was kind of fun, and that's what's interesting about this version of the Reaper deck. As you saw, we went for the Boneyard move and tried to kill them with our skeletons. Our opponent denied that, using Inferno, 2 arrows, bombs, all kinds of things to stop us. But at the end of the day, we just had too many threats, and that's what's cool about this version of the Reaper deck. Of course, you've got the skeleton threat now with the Skull Queen, the mini skeletons. The Standard Bearer is super effective, jumping those skeletons around. Protection's great. We have the Storm Elemental as a threat, and of course, the Reaper is always a deadly threat. So this deck's pretty cool in terms of the number of threats it can offer. Let's try to get one more game in with this deck before we switch over to the other deck. Of course, each game we win here, we're pushing up our personal best trophy count, which is kind of cool. But as you saw there, our opponent had 2 arrows, bombs, Inferno. Lots of people are playing Boneyard. Lots of people are playing these skeleton decks, and not surprising in response, people are playing things like arrows. The other card that's gone up, and I've seen a lot more of lately, is Jester, because the way it can handle skeletons. So we're seeing Phoenix being played a lot, Jester being played a lot, Arrows being played a lot. Okay, so here we go again. We've got the Boneyard in our hand. Another good counter to Boneyard is actually having a Boneyard yourself, because it just kind of makes the whole game crazy, putting stuff in all kinds of lanes. Okay, let's play it now while we have a full hand. Okay, we got all of our skeletons pretty much in the middle lane. Oh, too bad they played a bomb. I should have perhaps went back on that. I'm going to go here. All right, so let's see what's going to happen. Are they going to play an Inferno? I'm a little bit afraid of that. Okay, I did get out of the way. I don't know. I'm really worried about the... Okay, we need to freeze pretty quickly. There we go. And, okay, we can go here. That's all right. Let's just go here and try to kill this thing. Yep, why not? While we're at it, let's just kill that. Come on, get out there. Get out there, Reaper. That's it. Let's go Boneyard. There we go. And the shock worked perfectly. And yeah, that's not going to do anything to us because we've got the Reaper up there. And there's the Skull Queen. And we finished him off. Good game. The other thing you see there is we have a resurrection in this deck, sort of like, and one reason we have it is because so many people are playing arrows and things like that. If we need to, we can bring things back. Like, one cool thing to resurrect is a Reaper. You can resurrect a Reaper and they still have decent health. You put a protection on it, it's okay. You can also resurrect the Skull Queen. Like, if you've got some skeletons at their castle and you're about to finish them off, resurrecting the Skull Queen, boom, doubling the strength of your skeletons almost and finishing them off is pretty cool. So we did really well there, winning all 3 of those games. But I'm just trying to show a little bit about this card in this video. So let me show another deck that also takes advantage of the Boneyard, and this one also relies on other skeletons, the Skull Queen, obviously, the Skull King, the Specter, and again, we also have the Resurrection, works really well, again, as I said, with the Skull Queen, because you get that bonus, and it also works really well, of course, with the skeletons. So this is a similar deck in some ways, but there's no Reaper threat in this one. This one's just pretty much spam, and Giant Specters is what we're going for. So let's do a couple of battles with this one. I don't want this video to be too long. Okay, so we're starting off with the double Boneyard, which is nice. Let's see here, what do we get? The Skull Queen. Do I want to dump anything? I'm going to decide to just go ahead and let the next card burn. Yeah, that's fine. I didn't want the Skull King anyway. So here comes the Boneyard. And now the question is, should we play another Boneyard? I think the answer is yes. Let's play a second Boneyard. We just have tons of skeletons, and if they can survive just a minute, man, unfortunately, that is a little annoying. Go. There we go. We did get a big Specter out. And we can freeze here. Okay, that's not the best result. Okay, will we be able to kill this thing? I don't know. All right, go here. We'll bring this all back. Oh, didn't get that out in time. Darn, I thought I did. Okay, so as you can see, a real problem for us here. Everybody's playing, in every lane they have an anti-skeletons card, so we're in a lot of trouble here. Probably could have tried to play shock somewhere. Whoops, didn't mean to hit that. Good game. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I haven't played this deck as much, but like there's cards that people are starting they're definitely going up in value. The Fan Dancer, the Phoenix, and of course the Executioner. It's kind of game over, lights out for our deck. I don't know. Yeah, I guess the freeze didn't do what I was hoping. I think if I had played the freeze a fraction of a second faster, I wouldn't have lost so many skeletons and would have done a little better. Or actually, a fraction of a second slower might have been even better, because then both the Druid and the Vampire would have been frozen. But I didn't expect them to play the Druid right behind the Vampire like that. But oh well. So we'll try again, but the idea in this deck is pretty straightforward. You want to get lots of skeletons out on the board and then get out the giant specters. I also didn't get to use a protection, I don't think, in that game, which might have made a difference. Okay, so here we've got the crystal. Now, it's an interesting question is whether or not you should play the crystal and wait, because right now I could play the Boneyard, but I'm going to go ahead and wait and get one more card. And then I'm going to go Boneyard. I'm also waiting on this crystal here. Let's see what's going to happen in this lane. I don't know. We're going to go Boneyard again. And now I'm going to go Protection on this lane because I have so many skeletons in this lane. It's pretty stunning. And we're going to go Freeze here and just wipe everything out in that lane very quickly. This is going to be nice. And then I'm going to go to the giant Specter up here. That's a plus 19 Specter, which is pretty much massive. And I'm just going to wait. I don't really need to play anything. And it looks like my opponent may have just given up. Yeah, that game worked really well for us. So again, this is why arrows, bombs, they only had 2 bombs. They did have a Phoenix, but weren't able to get any of those cards out. This is why cards like arrows you're gonna be seeing them played a lot more to try to deal with the massive number of skeletons that people are going to be throwing. So even that game there, even though we have a Skull King in it, that one ended really fast. The Boneyard is a really powerful card. And those skeletons right now are coming out at level 9. Other people, some people have already leveled their Boneyards up to level 5, 6. I've even seen a level 7 Boneyard. So people are really trying to get them however they can. They think it's a very powerful card. Maybe I can show you when we're done here that some people have very high level Boneyards. All right, we'll try another one with this giant Specter deck and see where that gets us. It's interesting. I was having a lot of trouble finding games this morning, and then for a long period of time, games were loading up very quickly, and now apparently I'm having trouble finding them again. I don't know what the problem is here, but we'll wait. So it's an interesting question when you play this deck with crystals and the Boneyard. As you saw there, I elected to wait until I got another card, because if you have fewer cards in your hand, you get fewer skeletons on the board. So I wanted to wait for another card so I could get 2 more skeletons out there. And it's an interesting question about whether or not that's better than playing it quickly, or whether you should wait, hold on to the crystals. I don't know. I think for this deck, the reason to have the crystals is to play it a little bit faster. It's to get your Skull Queen out faster and to get to the Skull King eventually if you need it. I think, in my view, the Skull King could come out of this deck if you wanted to play it purely as a rush deck. You could take the Skull King out and put in, I don't know, another freeze. You could put in another protection. There's a number of things you could try there. Maybe even another resurrection. But I think it would have problems against overtime decks. So I think one reason to have the Skull King in there is to help out with overtime decks. All right, this is really taking a while. All right, so I don't think the Skull King is worthless in the with these added cards, especially the Legion, which I showed earlier. But I do think its value has gone down a little bit. I think in this deck, for example, if I had a stronger Skeleton's Legion, I would probably take out the Skull King personally and play the Skeleton's Legion there instead. Other people might say, no, you need the Skull King there. The Skull King does give more skeletons. It gives 12. The Legion only gives 9. And of course, the Skull King also brings out a pretty good, strong creature in the Skull King himself. But it does cost 10 mana, so I'm not sure that that there's quite as much value in the Skull King now as there was prior to having the Legion. All right, we're still having a lot of problems connecting here. I hate to have a video that's mostly waiting on games rather than actually playing games. All right, this one we're just going to wait and see. What else can I say? Let's see here. People requesting cards. And I think that, but I do think the addition of these two cards is going to affect the current metagame pretty substantially, which in my view is a good thing. I think the metagame was getting a little stale. There were maybe 5 to 8 standard decks or deck ideas that people were using. There was Reaper, there was Overtime, there was Resurrection. There was Unchained Demon still a little bit out there. What else? And then there were the sort of mixed balance decks. There were some people playing the sort of Angel, Mud Elemental, Vampire combo decks. There was a little bit of that out there too. But for the most, oh, and then of course there was Rush decks, the standard kind of Rush deck that doesn't include the Reaper. But I think that these cards are definitely going to change up the metagame quite a bit. Okay, so here's an interesting spot. I've got both crystals. I don't really want to play them both. I kind of want to wait. Okay, my opponent is playing some kind of a rush deck. We're going to go the Boneyard. Okay. And now I am going to go with the crystal, and I'm going to go protection up here. Hoping that these skeletons can take out. No. Okay. He's got the Reaper. Okay. All right. So let's go Resurrection, I guess. I don't know if this is the best play, but we're going to take out that, and then we're going to go Skull Queen. And then I'm going to drop these skeletons here. So this is a Reaper deck, clearly, that my opponent is playing. Okay. No. Will the Reaper get to my castle? It will, but will I kill it before? I think I'm going to kill it. Yes. All right, good game. So we did okay against the sort of a classic Reaper deck there. This deck doesn't necessarily always do well against classic Reaper decks, but I think classic Reaper decks, I don't know if they'll go out of fashion or not, but I have seen, let's see if we can find here. Here's a very strong Reaper player. Notice he has made some modifications to his deck from previously. A couple of things he's done. He's added Rage, which he was not normally playing Rage. He's also added a Boneyard himself, which he's already got up to level 6. Pretty impressive. And he has gone back to the Phoenix. He used to play the Phoenix before, and now he's gone back to the Phoenix because, I think, because it deals with skeletons better. And out has got things that have gone out. Skeleton, just the regular skeletons, warriors, statues, those are no longer in the deck there. I did want to show, I think this player here has a very strong Boneyard. Yes, there's a level 7 Boneyard already. That's incredibly impressive to already have a level 7 Boneyard. But any case, that's it for this video. I hope you liked this video. If you did, give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And I hope you enjoy playing with the new cards, Boneyard and Skeleton's Legion. Thanks so much, everybody. Bye-bye.